Hi, this is Lenora Lasser of Lenora Pours, and you definitely don't want to miss next pouring session. We are going to have an amazing time. We're going to talk about a variety of things. So make sure that you like and share this pouring session. And not only that, if you're on Facebook, tag a few of your friends. If you're on other social media platforms, send the link to your family and friends. I'm telling you, the sessions that we have, they are empowering, they're motivating, they're inspiring, and they're life-changing. Again, make sure that you share this upcoming podcast. Take care. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's podcast. I'm Lenora Lassiter of Lenora Pours. And you guys, I am super excited. I have the opportunity to sit down and talk with the phenomenal Jermaine and Jared on tonight. Both are graduates of Fayetteville State University. And listen, you guys, you have to make sure that you like and share this podcast with your family and friends. Grab your phones, go ahead and send the link, share it on Facebook, and tag at least 10 people and tell them that they need to get on this podcast to listen to some phenomenal alumni of Fayetteville State University, class of 2013 and 2015. The one and only, should I say two, Jermaine and Jared. Super excited. And before we even get started, guys, we do have a few people who've already commented on tonight's podcast. And tonight, this is the first night that the podcast is actually streaming live on LinkedIn. So welcome to the LinkedIn audience. Super excited that you guys are joining us on tonight. So let me just read a couple of the comments that have already came in on tonight. Brianna is on. Good evening, Brianna. Thank you so much for joining us. Brianna is also a graduate of Fayetteville State University, Jared and Jermaine as well. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Jermaine, say hello to the audience.
Hey, everyone. Thank you, Lenore, for having us. Excited to talk about some of the work Jared and I have been doing in Fayetteville.
All right. And Jared, go ahead and say your little piece real quick before I start asking you guys questions on tonight.
Oh, we can't hear you.
I think you may be on mute, Jared. You're off mute now. Go ahead and greet the audience.
No.
We still can't hear you, Jared. That's okay. We heard you earlier, so we'll just allow you an opportunity to work out the little tech issues there so you can greet the audience. Sherry Dawson Williams is on. She said, hey, y'all. Hey, Sherry, thank you so much for joining us on tonight. And again, you guys, make sure that you go ahead, like, and share this podcast on tonight. We're having a conversation with Jared and Jermaine, Fayetteville State alumni, and they have some great things going on. So just to begin, let's hear from, before we begin, we have another Fayetteville State alumni on, Roderick T. Williams. He's on. Good evening, Roderick. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight. All right, Jermaine, without further ado, introduce yourself to tonight's audience.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Jermaine Coble, graduate of Fayetteville State University. I went on to then get a master's at NYU in real estate asset management. I currently work full-time at Etsy doing some sourcing for real estate and workplace sourcing. And in my spare time, Jared and I have a passion project down in Fayetteville off Murchison Road and some other properties around the area. Trying to help, give back to the community that gave us so much.
All right, great. Thank you so much for the introduction. Myra is on. She says, hello, everyone. Hello, Myra. Thank you so much for tuning in on tonight. Again, everyone, make sure that you like and share this podcast on tonight. Now, let's see if we got Jared with us now. Jared.
How about now?
Yep.
Oh, we can hear you, Jared. Thank you so much. We can hear you.
Good
Tell us
evening,
a little bit about yourself.
Yep, I'm Jared James. I'm 2015 graduate of Fayetteville State University, business admin. I also obtained my master's from LSU 2021. Currently reside in Cleveland, Ohio, where I work for Nestle as a supply chain manager, managing a team of analysts. Spare time, I do like to read, and as Coble mentioned, passion project being real estate, and I also enjoy mountain biking and hiking.
Oh, mountain biking and hiking. All right. What's the latest mountain that you've been on?
My most recent hike was actually in Arkansas late last year, Mount Kessler.
Okay. All right. I think the only thing that I've done was view a mountain. I haven't been up a mountain. But I will say this. Okay, let me just take that back. I did go to Greenville, South Carolina, and we went through some mountains, but not hike, like really, really, really hike the mountains. Now, we did get lost in the mountains because I would tell you guys real quick. I was going with Brianna and my sister. We were just going to do a photo shoot. She wanted to do her birthday photo shoot in the mountains. So we went and we thought, okay, we're just going to walk down this little path and take a couple pictures. Well, we ended up getting lost, right? But we were able to get ourselves out of the mountains before it got dark because we didn't want to see lions, tigers, and bears. Okay, enough of that. But anywho, it's exciting to hear that you do have some extracurricular activities going on because both of you guys are really, really busy. So let's see who else we have on. Harold, my husband, is on. Good evening, Harold. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Leontre Graham is on. He's in YouTube land. What's up? Thank you so much, Leontre, for joining us on tonight. Thank you so much. Brianna, honey, you know we hiked. Yes, we did. And let me tell you guys this. People were like, "Oh, you guys have nice outfits on." I think they were being very sarcastic because we were not prepared to be in the mountains. Okay, but enough of the mountain story. Let's continue with these comments in our conversation on tonight. Dr. Kara is on. Hello, thank you so much for joining and tuning in. You guys, we have so many people on tonight. Super excited about that. And she stated that was a hike up the hill, and I didn't think I was going to make it to the top. No, she didn't. She thought she was going to die, but she had another opportunity to live because she's on this live one tonight. Okay. All right. Megan Elizabeth. Megan is on. Hello, Megan. Alan and I are here. Great. Great. Jared and Jermaine, you guys remember Megan and Alan from Coble Banker Advantage. Alan is our broker in charge, and Megan is one of the trainers there and also a realtor there. So they're on as well. So thank you so much, Megan, for tuning in on tonight. Again, you guys have some amazing initiatives going on. But before we even dive into those initiatives, as you guys both stated, you got your undergrad degrees from Fayetteville State University. But not only did you obtain your degrees from Fayetteville State University, both of you were very involved at Fayetteville State University. So, Jermaine, what were some of the things that you participated in while you were at Fayetteville State University?
A student body president 2012, 2013. I was an initiative of Alpha Phi Alpha in spring of 2013. I served in a lot of capacity at the business school, whether it was SIFE or some of the case competitions we went on. So super involved and active, wanted to really get the full undergrad experience.
Okay, so Alpha Phi Alpha. My brother-in-law is an Alpha. So
Okay.
that's good to know. All right, Jared, what did you do at Fayetteville State University?
Yep, similar to Jermaine, student body president. I also super involved with the business school. I was initiative Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. So sorry, Coble.
Sorry about it.
And I was also involved with NAACP, Pre-Law Society, and a few other organizations on campus as well.
Wow. So one is with the black and gold, the other one with the crimson and cream. However, you guys are still partners and doing some great things together. Now, Jermaine, you provided us with your job title. Can you talk about a little bit about what you do and your role at Etsy?
Yeah, so Etsy's a global company. Therefore, we have offices all over the world. We call our employees admin. They just help to really create and maintain and run the Etsy app that we are allowed to help connect buyers and sellers, really support entrepreneurship and the great things that we do on the website.
All right, great, great, great. Now, how does the real estate piece falls into place there?
Yeah, so we have offices. We have a global presence, so we have global offices. So I negotiate all the transactions with the team, my workplace counterparts, to make sure we provide admins with a place to go sit and work when the world opens back up. It's kind of a transitioning period right now, and everybody's half in the house, some going back to the office. So
Right,
we work to provide that experience at the workplace
right.
and source all the things we need at the workplace. So whether that's catering or IT tech, all that sourcing will help come through my department.
All right, good stuff. Because I did read an article how they stated that businesses soon will be transitioning their employees back to the workplace. So I'm sure that those offices will come in handy soon, but I know there will be a lot of kickback. However, if people want to keep their jobs, they may transition right on back to the four walls. So thank you so much for providing us a little bit more information about your role. Now, Jared, tell us a little bit about your role at Nestle.
Yep. So pretty sure you all are familiar with Nestle. We're the world's largest food and beverage company, home of some of the iconic brands of Stouffer's, Hot Pockets, Purina. And I'm currently a supply chain manager for customer solutions. So I manage a team of 15 analysts who support a little over 400 contracts, and we support the order to cash process and demand capture across a number of companies.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now listen, we already got a question that have came in from one of our viewers, Megan Elizabeth, and we were going to get there, but since she already populated this question, Jared and Jermaine, Megan wants to know, why did you all decide to invest here in Fayetteville, North Carolina? So give us the name of your company and then answer the question here that's on the screen, whichever one want to take this question here.
Jerry,
Yeah.
you want to start?
Yeah, I can start off. I'll take the first half. So Jermaine and I founded J&J Global Assets in 2020. And that was with our first acquisition of a multifamily home in the Fayetteville region. Initially, it started out with aspirations to acquire a single family home, but that fell through. And I lived in Arkansas at the time. So we started looking at properties out there, and those didn't seem to be a good fit, and our roads led back to Fayetteville. And we closed on our first property May the 7th, 2020. And we have since acquired a triplex, a quadruplex, 3 single family homes, and a parcel of land. Our mission and what we do, we basically are looking to build a financially strong organization that creates quality housing by bringing creativity and passion to underrepresented and emerging communities. And our vision is to build a global portfolio of assets while enriching and enhancing the communities we operate in.
Woo! You better go ahead. I love that, Jared. Well, before I even pipe in and ask a follow-on question, Jermaine, go ahead if you want to add to that.
Yeah, just to, what Jared said, real estate is very local, and it's good to invest in what you know. We spent a great deal of our 20s in and around Fayetteville going to school, and it was a market we really understood, and the dynamics of Fort Bragg. The market, it only makes up about 55% of renters. So it calls for like a great storm almost to say like capital should go here. So that on top of, just our love for the city and us knowing what it could be based on the travels and experience Jared and I both had, said Fayetteville is going to be the best place to put dollars at. Actively looking around, North Carolina and other states, but the returns and the investments you can get in Fayetteville are just so attractive.
They're so attractive. And what makes it attractive? I know you kind of hit on a few things, but what makes this area attractive?
With a average population, about 55% of the population are renters. You're more enticed to have a steady income stream of renters that are going to need space. Also, the cash on cash returns, so the money you put in over what you're annually expected to get, are really strong in Fayetteville. because you have that dynamic of Fort Bragg, people in and out all the time. There's always there's like a season of renters that come into Fayetteville around spring, and you get this big gust of new arrivals, and it's great to release your portfolio.
I love how you stated that there are a season of individuals who are going to be constantly
Mhm.
renting. And basically, both of you all are kind of looking at, with this being a military town, leveraging that opportunity, knowing that there are military service members who are in and out of Fort Bragg, not only Fort Bragg, but Pope Army Airfield.
Mhm.
Now, Jared, you mentioned earlier you gave the portfolio, but can you just kind of go back and give us the different things that you guys have already acquired in your portfolio? I mean, you hit it like boom, 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 boom. But can you just give us another overview just to let us know that again? So, yeah.
Yeah. First property was a duplex, which is a multifamily home, and the second property was a triplex, family home, and then we acquired a quadruplex, which is a 4-family home, and 3 single-family homes and a parcel of land.
Wow. Now, how large is your parcel of land?
Right around a quarter of an acre, and that's all in the Murchison Road Corridor, and that entire parcel is about an acre.
About an acre.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't mind sharing, what is your plan as far as utilizing that acre or that parcel of land? What do you plan to do with that parcel of land?
Yeah, Jermaine and I have played around or thought about a few different ideas on what and how we could use that area to really contribute to whether that's sustainability or a community garden. So we're still brainstorming on ideas for that land, and we're open to any suggestions that local investors or community leaders may have on what and how we could utilize that area to really help support the revitalization efforts of the community and the city.
Okay. And why Murchison Road? Why did you guys choose the Murchison Road Corridor as a place to start your investment portfolio? Out of all of the corridors, out of all the different parts of Fayetteville, North Carolina, why the Murchison Road Corridor?
So I think we didn't start on Murchison. We started across Fayetteville.
Okay.
And then there was a portfolio deal that came on the market that Jared was referring to with the quad, the 3 houses, and a lot of land. And we said, the first time we saw it, we were like, this must be fake. It's not real. So we drove by it and we started checking it out. We ran numbers and we said, okay, this could make sense. There's a lot of risk here. There's a lot of risk on the construction side. We need to renovate a large part of the portfolio. And then just the risk of the neighborhood, right? It is still a transitioning neighborhood. You're wanting to get people who are going to have steady income to get in there, but there's still some risk. So we just looked at it. We had a conversation and we said, look, no one's going to do it. It's going to, at the end of the day, somebody has to do it that probably comes from the community that understands it and is ready to take on those risks. And that's kind of what drove us to say, okay, Murchison is somewhere we can put a flag down. Where the asset is located, it's what I could envision one day being a mini downtown Murchison Road. You have the new health and wellness center. The health center that's right there across the street. The urgent care, I believe it is. That Quick Market has done a lot of internal renovations on their own. I think there's a new generation of leadership in there, and they've almost gutted the whole place. So a lot of little projects are popping up around there. And then, just reading articles of what the city has planned for Murchison, just said, okay, this could be something we do today. And, we look up 5-10 years from now and it's a whole completely different street because it seems like, the perfect storm is starting to brew.
Yeah. And historically, Fayetteville is what connects a lot of the military personnel to the civilian population. And it leads you directly to the downtown area where the new stadium is. So it just seems like an ideal place to really plant seeds and grow trees. And I just, like Coble mentioned, looking over some articles and research in the area, About 25,000 vehicles are transacting Murchison Road on a daily basis. So that's a lot of traffic that we're seeing there. And then with the investment from the city and the government, both on the federal and state level, we'll see that Murchison corridor be revitalized completely. And that just will contribute to the asset and the work that we're looking to do in the area.
Wow. Thank you guys for that. Harold stated green initiatives or solar panels.
Definitely we'll look into them. I don't know. I've talked to a few people about solar just privately, and the math hasn't all the way filled itself out if it's not your private residence. But it definitely could be an idea. The actual lot that's left is kind of in the middle of Murchison. It's not on the corner, and there's it's a treed area, a lot of trees around it. So we'll have to look more into that and see if there's enough space.
Gotcha. Now, I heard, I think it was you, Jermaine, stated about a little downtown. So what do you envision in the Murchison corridor? What are some of the things? Because I did read the article and you guys stated, hey, there's some things that are lacking because both of you all were students at Fayetteville State University. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you noticed things that were lacking in that particular area. So with that being stated, what would you all envision there? I know you kind of cover a few things, but in totality, what would you all like to see?
All over, I think this is just my opinion, Jared. We go back and forth on what it could look like, but I see Murchison as a high density, right off Murchison should be high density development. We're talking student housing, market apartments, retail, shopping, hotels down Murchison, similar to what they did in Northern Virginia. And behind Murchison, that the major corridor would be single family homes. I think that, when we're looking at poverty and people that don't necessarily, this is not the richest area in Fayetteville. A car is like probably your most expensive liability that you have to have in the South. But if there's more condensed high density and I can walk to get a lot of my services, I can ride a bike or find another way to get out of that car, it would save people a lot of money. So I personally envision to revitalize this currently low density, high poverty area. You probably need to pack more people in, which will probably help drive some grocery store retail. They had a Walmart at one point, but it was cannibalizing off of the Walmart on Skybo, taking people from the food line off Cliffdale. It just really probably wasn't enough people in the area to support all that stuff. But if you have more people coming in tighter and compactor, I think it would really solve some of those issues.
Ooh, I love that. Now, what about you, Jared?
I see Murchison Road as more of an extension of the university. Kind of just touring around some other colleges and seeing how the university has really adopted a lot of the landmass around and made it, populous with student housing and extensions of the university as it relates to bookstores or campus stores and just resources to that extent. So really just seeing what and how we can incorporate potentiality of the two or help influence that and contribute. But all in all, just really adopting the area and making Murchison Road a part of the true identity of Fayetteville State University.
I love that. An extension of Fayetteville State University, because I am a proud alum of Fayetteville State University. And when I was at Fayetteville State University, I did a lot of business on the Murchison Road. I live not too far from the Murchison Road area. And I mean, it took me minutes to get to school. So I was a commuter. And on the Murchison Road, there was the College Heights Credit Union, where my parents took me to open up my first savings account. And I learned about budgeting and finances and all that kind of stuff. And every time I received my refund check, I would head right across the street to College Heights Credit Union. Well, now the College Heights Credit Union is no longer there. We used to shop at V Point. Now, that's probably before you guys' time. You may or may not have heard of that store, but we had V Point on the Murchison Road. We had Vicks that was at the end of Murchison Road. I mean, there were so many things. Perkins Cleaners, where my parents took, their clothes to get clean. Murchison Road was a very vibrant and thriving community, but over the years, it became a little dilapidated. But because of the Murchison Choice neighborhood plan, there is an initiative to really revitalize, to pour in money to this corridor to make it vibrant again, because it is one of the major corridors that lead into downtown Fayetteville. And I think you stated that area earlier, Jared, in regards to the stadium being downtown. So, I mean, there is no other choice but to really revitalize that area and bring more, I will say, retail, bring more shops, bring hotels, like you guys stated in regards to student housing. There is so much that can be added to Murchison Road, and I'm excited about what's going to take place. I mean, Murchison Road, it is historic Black community. So, of course, I'm sure some of those individuals who live over in the Broadale area, a lot of those individuals, should I say, some of those individuals, they're retired educators. They're retired from Fayetteville State University, because I had the opportunity when I was working alongside of some of the ambassadors to knock on doors. And I was knocking on doors. These individuals were coming out and talking to me, and they had such rich history concerning the Murchison Road area, and also Fayetteville State University. Of course, we cannot leave out E.E. Smith High School, the school of the Golden Bulls. So we cannot forget about them as well over in that Murchison community. But listen, guys, we have some comments coming in, and I definitely want to read some of these comments. I brought this on the screen earlier. Joshua Red, you guys remember him, my brother. He gave you guys a hand clap earlier. Also, Ubuntu is on, and he stated brilliant. So the information you guys are sharing and what you guys envision, he stated brilliant. Sherry asked the question, and she states, so that's why they closed the Walmart down on the Murchison Road, because you stated, Jermaine, about the cannibalism of the Walmarts.
Yeah, don't quote me on that, but that's my strong assumption, and Jared might have more insights onto some thinking about that. But yeah, I mean, it was in between two stores that didn't have a lot of population in between them, and that's what makes sense to me.
Gotcha. All right. So Sherry, that's his response, but he said, don't quote him on that. He's stating this is Jermaine's opinion. So Jermaine, we can respect that. Thank you so much for that information. Also, Roderick stated great ideas, brother. So he stated that you guys have some great ideas there. Joshua also stated agreed. And Megan Elizabeth stated, great information. Others can learn from your insight. I definitely agree with that, Megan. And also, Alan, since you're watching there with Megan, Joshua also stated, go Broncos. Yes, go Broncos. And I think, this is my personal opinion, that the chancellor is doing some phenomenal things over at Fayetteville State University. What's y'all got? What's your thoughts on that, guys?
Yeah, I think Chancellor Allison's doing some great work. He's received and secured a lot of funds, the largest appropriation for Fayetteville State. We can see enrollment start to go up and help with some of these needs. More people, more dollars, more capital, more retail. So it all should be a trickling effect.
Yeah. What about you, Jared? Thank you, Jermaine.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Just seeing the work that he's done, especially with career services, and really just highlighting the internships of the students most recently, and the work that he's done to really just promote collaboration and partnership with a lot of the local organizations and, of course, retailers and companies abroad. I think that he's came in and really ignited some Bronco pride amongst the university, and I'm looking forward to his continued leadership.
Yes, I love that. I love that, because at first, when they announced that, hey, Fayetteville State University is about to get a new chancellor, some of the Broncos, they were bucking now. They were bucking. But now, since he's been there, he's done a lot of great things for the university. And I am just pleased how the university is just moving forward and really doing great things, and increased enrollment, as you guys stated, is taking place on the campus of Fayetteville State University. Now, I'm going to ask them a pivot just a little bit. And I know this topic is a hot topic, guys. So give me your honest opinion. It's been circulating. the name change of Fayetteville State University. How do you guys feel about that? Not saying it's going to take place, but there has been talk. What is your view on that?
Jerry, you can go first.
Of course, I'm not a proponent of the name change, but support the direction that the university is going. And if that prompts a name change, then of course it'll still be Fayetteville State University at its core. And, I'll just leave it there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jared. I love how you answer that. Okay, Jermaine, you're up next.
I'm slightly indifferent. The schools has changed its name. I think I was talking to someone about this once about 7 times already. So this wouldn't be the first time it changed its name if it were to happen. I think at the end of the day, I support education. I support people coming. I mean, Fayetteville State is a place where generally most people from the outer, the what's the right word, rural areas of North Carolina come to seek higher education. And if they're going to still get higher education experiences, a chance to improve their lives and their standard of living, and in turn their family, I don't think we should get caught up so much on a name and more on the mission of what we're here to do.
All right. Thank you so much, Jermaine, for your feedback in regards to that question. I appreciate both of you guys' responses. We do have some comments that have came in. I want to read some of these comments here. Sherry stated, what business did you do on the Murchison besides go to Central Park? So Central Park probably wasn't there when you guys were there. That was probably before your time, but that was the best burger joint on the Murchison Road to me in Fayetteville.
Oh, there was a burger joint on Murchison Road. Where was this at?
So do you know where Walmart is? The Walmart area. You know where the gas station is in front of the Walmart gas station?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you had
Okay,
the Walmart there.
Yeah.
Then the Walmart had a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
So where the gas station sat, that's where Central Park sat.
Oh, I've never heard of it. It was before my
When you get a chance, Google it.
Okay.
It. And my memory of that place is very fond because as a young girl, my mother delivered magazines. I mean, I'm dating myself and I don't care. I'm very proud of my age, okay? But my mom delivered Tempo magazines. So I'm very familiar with the Murchison Road area. We used to deliver on Preston Avenue, which is like people like, oh, you're going on Preston Avenue. Well, no, we didn't have an issue with that. And after we delivered those magazines and then the newspapers as well, we will always finalize our newspaper and magazine run at Central Park. And they had the best burgers and fries ever. So that's one of the things that she was alluding to. But did you guys do any business as Fayetteville State students with any of the businesses on Murchison Road? I mean, there was very, very few, but did you do any businesses there? Any business with any of the businesses?
One of my clubs when I was in the business school, SIFE, we volunteered with the women who'd help with a lot of people in homeless shelters and that need clothes. So one of the big projects we did at the end of every school year is we would go to all the dorms and collect clothes people no longer wanted, probably couldn't fit anymore because of freshman 30, 15. And we would donate it to her, and she kind of helped fund her nonprofit that way through the distribution of generally used clothes. So that was probably the most extent I did work on Murchison Road. But like you said, it wasn't, I mean, we were in school. I was in school in the late 2000s, mid 2000s. Right. It wasn't much going on Murchison Road. And candidly, there was kind of an invisible wall between Murchison Road and Fayetteville State. It was kind of known like, hey, stay within the campus. This is the safe space. Everybody understands that there's a dotted line between where you should go and shouldn't go. I think that's changing today. I think people feel that they can explore a little bit more. I recently was living in Fayetteville during the pandemic to get away. At the time I was in DC and wanted to get away from the city, and I would run up and down Murchison Road. And I mean, I'd never had an issue. So I think that line is disappearing as time goes on. But I don't think we was encouraged to engage Murchison Road while I was in school.
Right, right. They oftentimes blacklisted Murchison Road because of crime, but there were other places as well.
Yeah,
Back in the days, even Hay Street was known, hey, for the
yeah,
service.
history was not a
Stay away
nice
from Hay
place.
Street. But now look at Hay Street, right?
Mhm.
Everybody goes there to do the shopping and the eating and stuff. So Murchison Road is going to be great. I truly believe it's going to be great. All right, Jared, did you want to say anything in regards to that?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I used to take my clothes to the dry cleaners at Perkins there on Murchison Road, and I also canvassed for Democracy Now! In the Obama administration during the second term. So I did that on Murchison Road as well. Um, yeah, and also during my term as student body president, I led a march on Murchison Road for MLK Day. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. So you guys did do some things there. All right. Sherry said, don't forget the Suburban Mart. Yes, and many people stayed away from the Suburban Mart, but hey, it's still open. People still shopping there. They're still making money.
Is that
So,
is that the shopping center that's on Murchison and closer to was that Enoch?
Colvin Funeral Home. Yes. Like a
Okay, so
couple of,
that's when I was talking to. They've renovated that whole place. You should
yes,
check
they,
it out now. It's not the same anymore. They've redone the racks and new coolers. Jared and I will stop in there when we're visiting a property, and it looks completely different.
yeah. Yeah. I haven't been in there in a while. I haven't been in nowhere there in a while. Johnette Henderson. Johnette is one of the Murchison Choice ambassadors, and she put Golden Bulls. She's a graduate of E. Smith University. So she's a good person for you guys to reach out to. Of course, myself to connect in regards to the Murchison Choice neighborhood plan. So make sure you guys jot her name down, and you can reach out to her. Of course, you can reach out to me and I can connect you with her because she is one of the current ambassadors with the Murchison Choice program. And we have some, again, Golden Bulls there. And Sherry said, Jermaine, she's going to quote you. That was from earlier, but she said she's going to quote you there. All right. Johnette stated recently in a meeting regarding the Walmart. So again, she's one of the ambassadors. So what she's stating here that she was recently in a meeting regarding the Walmart, and there's a lot of, I will say, bureaucracy going on with that building. So, but she's the one can keep you abreast of some of those things. So thank you so much, Johnette, for that. Harold stated Chancellor is a good guy and very knowledgeable. Definitely agree there, Harold, in regards to that. Sherry stated, you already said that. Go Shaw Bears. Okay. She's a where did she go to school? Shaw Bear. Yeah, Shaw University. I knew that. I was just kind of playing it. Sherry said, Lenora Dawson Laster, why you put them brothers on spotlight? That next question, please. That was in regards to the name change. Sometimes on my podcast, Jared and Jermaine, we have those, hard questions and hard conversations. But like you guys already know, I already told you prior to the podcast, listen, if there's any questions that you don't want to answer, you can just say, I'd rather pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Okay. This ain't no game of spades. You don't have to show your hand, right? Keep it moving. All right. Harold said, something make a difference if there's a name change or not. Yes, definitely. Okay. Now, Ubuntu stated, I think most people's ideas is that a name change is a key to seeing under new management. But no amount of rebranding can erase over a century and a half of Black history and education in the Carolina Sandhills. Wow.
I will snap to that.
That's you a snap to that. Okay, we all got to snap to it then. That was very deep. Wow. Thank you so much, Ubuntu, for that. That was really good. Joshua is telling someone to hush. I don't know who he's telling to hush. Tiffany is on. She said, I agree with Jermaine about the name change. So when you stated, hey, mine is a little indifferent, Tiffany stated that she agrees with that. Joshua stated best food joint. The last one is located in Conway, South Carolina, and he's talking about Central Park, guys. That's what he's talking about. Sherry stated we delivered the magazines and got chased by Rottweilers while delivering newspapers. She's right about that, guys. We did get chased by Rottweilers, and my mother had, I'm not ashamed, a brown station wagon with the window that went down in the back. So when the Rottweilers were chasing my brother, my mother, now she's not the best driver, bless her heart, mother, you know I love you, right? So don't get me later after the show. She put that station wagon in reverse and she rolled down the window and she said, Leo, jump! And he dashed through that back window, because if not, he would have been mauled by the Rottweiler. So yeah, we experienced a lot of things. That's why we went to Central Park after delivering those papers and magazines. So Ubuntu stayed at Bronco Square. So if you can go back, Ubuntu, and kind of elaborate on that, because I think that kind of was something.
I think that was a reference to Murchison Road.
Murchison Road. Okay.
I don't consider, I mean, Bronco Square is on Murchison Road, but that always felt like an extension of the university, not that you were on Murchison Road.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Joshua says some people feel like it takes from the HBC culture the name change. How sway? Jermaine and Jared, y'all want to kind of hit on that a little bit, and then we're going to move on with our conversation?
I would say that if a name change can change your culture, do you really have a culture? I think culture is deeper than a name. When I think of the experience that I had at Fayetteville State University, or FSU, the last thing that comes to mind is the name. It's more so about the relationships I built with the professors, the staff and administration, and just the community of individuals I was around, the like-minded individuals who came to the university with aspirations of ultimately graduating and, you know, having some safe, enjoyable experiences along the way. So yeah, I don't think that's the case personally.
Okay. All right. Jermaine?
I couldn't agree more.
You concur. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Listen, this is my point of view. Fayetteville State University is moving great, is moving forward. And hey, if we can keep winning with that name, we can keep winning with that name. All right. So that's just my standpoint, my degrees and everything else at FSU. But at the end of the day, this is my philosophy. People going to do what they want to do. All right. I can voice my opinion all day long, and I love to hear other people's feedback. But whoever signs the dotted line, that's who's going to be the ultimate decision maker on that. All right. But I love Fayetteville State University. That is my alma mater. And I think it just has rich history. And I do love the name. All right. So let's read this statement here. Tiffany stated, yes, they did blackball a lot of areas in the 80s and the 90s. They definitely did, Tiffany. And Murchison Road was one of those areas. But I truly believe a lot of those blackballed areas now, they're going to be an eye for a lot of developers sooner or later, because Fayetteville, North Carolina is definitely growing. And I think, my personal opinion, a lot of people want to move and have that city life, kind of like the Raleigh area, the Durham area, and things of that nature. So a lot of these neighborhoods may look a little dilapidated and things of that nature, but I always tell people, go to Durham. Look at Durham and look what happened to Durham. So if I can use a comparison, again, this is my own personal opinion. I'm like Jermaine, don't quote me on this, but this is just my own personal opinion. If you want to see what could possibly happen, and I'm not trying to give out any misinformation, my personal opinion, go to Durham and take a look at the things that have took place there. Melody said, hey, Melody, thank you so much for joining us. Tiffany said, culture is deeper than the name. Thank you so much, Tiffany, for that. And Joshua said, thanks for the feedback. See, that's what I like about this podcast. Honest, open conversation. Okay. That's what it's about. What were you going to say, Jermaine?
Yeah, just going back to the 80s, 90s and the redlining, I think that is super important to highlight. But I think there's also another aspect that we don't talk about is there's still a generation holding on to a lot of this real estate that's not going to do anything with it and haven't done anything with it. The women we bought this property from, it was her and her husband. Unfortunately, her husband passed away and she kind of fell onto her. So eventually she was ready to release it, years later. But like, how many of those stories are out there up and down Murchison in the neighborhoods that some one family member, at one point bought all this property or bought property, handed it down to their kids. Their kids don't want anything to do with Fayetteville. They're not in Fayetteville. They don't probably remember Fayetteville that much, and now they're locked in, and no real development or investment is going to happen. So I think that's another issue people don't talk about, is that we need a certain generation to let go and sell, so new capital, new blood, new energy can come in with ideas and do something different in these neighborhoods. Because to keep them, landlocked and generational locked is hurting more than just, their value and the community. And the other thing you talked about, the two things, the Raleigh-Durham thing. One thing that Jared and I've seen that is coming up is there's talks about making a commuter rail from Raleigh to Fayetteville. We all know Raleigh is becoming super expensive with biotech, IT, and it's going to drive people out because they just can't afford to live there anymore. Fayetteville's become a great option. It's an hour away from Raleigh by car. People drive that every day to work. So I think Fayetteville will also benefit as Raleigh grows, Fayetteville will grow.
That's true. And you know what? There are a lot of individuals who are looking to invest, outside investors from outside of this area looking to invest in Fayetteville, North Carolina, because they know that Fayetteville, North Carolina is on the horizon. It's growing. There are a lot of things that are happening in this particular area. Now, you guys named your company, but before I say this, let me acknowledge this comment. Ubuntu stated, so true, and so many of the properties have already are going to heirs' rights, so we may see more gentrification. Whole entire topic there, the gentrification piece. You guys want to say anything in regards to that before I go to my next statement? And we're going to almost be at time in about 15, 14 minutes.
I think gentrification is in many levels. There's cultural gentrification. There's economic gentrification. I think what we're seeing in Fayetteville is we're not pushing. No one's pushing rents to a place where people are unable to live or have a life. I think you look to do a project and make an investment and receive a return at market rent, and market rent is set by the market. I don't know what area, maybe a Haymount you could say is being gentrified at best, but I don't think Fayetteville has that issue yet.
So you stated Haymont. What? Okay, so you guys both. Okay, one is from Greenville, South Carolina, right?
Yeah, Jared is.
Jared. And Jermaine, you're from Greensboro.
Yep.
So I am very intrigued, Jermaine, that you just mentioned Haymont.
I know the market I'm in.
I love
Jared, me and Jared, we research. We know what's going on.
So what do you know about this gentrification? And you know what's amazing? I'm going to tell you what's amazing. The reason why I just had to bring that up. My sister, which works with me with my production, just asked me a question in regards to the Haymont Hill thing, right? And I was like, well, I don't think I'm going to touch on that right now. But you brought it up. So we got to talk about it. Why do you say Haymont Hill is going through gentrification? Talk to me.
From the research I've seen, I think the highest rent growth is around Haymont. Hay Street is a direct connector to downtown. And I think for a growing city, you need some level of you need to encourage high income citizens to gather, because they'll support retail, they'll support growth, and then it will trickle down across the city, right? So once Haymont's it becomes a new hot thing, then everybody's going to look to go to the next hot place. And again, this is going to drive investment. I think Haymont I've seen prices and assets and values over there that just make me think like this is Fayetteville. So I think that's coming up and it's happening. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think we need some kind of re-engagement in the city.
Right. Jared, did you want to say anything? Thank you, Jermaine. Jared?
Yeah, I agree with Jermaine. And I think one key point of Haymont is that it has its own downtown. Although it's within minutes of downtown, like that area, it just historically and the demographic and the upbuild of that area is a lot different than the other side of town, and there's just a lot of capital in that area. So I think we saw a lot of appreciation on that side in comparison to Murchison Road and the corridor along that way. But all in all, I couldn't agree with Jermaine anymore.
Yeah. And Haymont Hill, if you look at it, I went to Terry Sanford High School, right? So Terry Sanford High School is right on Fort Bragg Road, not far from Haymont. Okay. So many of my classmates were from that area. But Haymont Hill in itself was part of redlining because you had the black side of Haymont Hill and you had the white side of Haymont Hill. And what separated the historic side of Haymont Hill were the houses and maybe just one particular street. But now when you go into Haymont Hill, you will see where they're doing a lot of development where the redlining took place. And they're building brand new homes besides some of the homes that are more, if you can, for lack of better terms, from people from lower socioeconomic statuses back in the days. So it's evident. And I mean, it's definitely, taking place. And then you have right behind, Joshua stated this as well, Savoy Heights, it backs Haymont Hill as well. So, I mean, it's just amazing that you really know the market and the area that you're looking to invest in, which is really good. So that was very intriguing to me. Sherry said it, but what about the people who have been there for years and what will happen to them? You guys want to say anything on that?
I think it's two parts. I mean, there's people who've been around for years that own their homes. They're going to keep owning their homes, and they're going to benefit from asset appreciation, and that they can, potentially, if they want to sell for a lot more money than they bought for. Then there's some renters that people are going to eye and say, this is very valuable real estate, and I want to increase the rent. I think the city has to find a way to marry, affordable housing and market to lift the whole city up at the same time, which is not an easy task. And glad that's not my job. But I think that it's going to take a group effort to really figure out a way to make affordable housing a thing in Fayetteville while bringing up and investing back into a lot of Fayetteville real estate.
Okay.
Yeah. To add to that, just from looking over like some city council meetings, you see a lot of dilapidated homes that are being demolished or have the tear down notices because they just haven't been kept up. So you kind of take that into consideration and think of maybe a family member or someone who may have inherited a home that just hasn't kept the property up. They will now have to turn that property over, or know the person who doesn't have the resources or funds available to do any of the upkeep to that. They'll be, potentially displaced.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you guys for your feedback in regards to that. Now, the question or the comment that I was going to make, which is kind of twofold. Your business name is J&J Global Assets. Is that correct? So you use the word global, and it's just not a word there, but both of you have had global experience, meaning either working or doing some type of studying abroad. Jermaine, talk about your global experience and how this have impacted your business initiatives. And then I want you as well, Jared, to follow up after he gives his point.
Sure. Like I said, Fayetteville State provided a lot for me. Before I finished school, I was able to live in China for a summer studying abroad. Transitioning out of school, I took an international job, living across Europe for a year in Belgium and Serbia. And then throughout grad school, I took a continued opportunity to see Asia and explore parts of Hong Kong and Shenzhen. I think all those things have helped craft someone that thinks more, at a very global, high level perspective and say, look, like we can figure it out. A lot of times Jared and I will look at projects like, I don't know how we're going to do this, but we'll figure it out because we're not the first in the world to ever try to do this. And I think when you're able to get out your everyday, life and see that the world is much bigger than just you and the things that people have accomplished all over this globe, it just helps you tackle problems differently.
Thank you. And Sherry said, Jermaine, do you speak Chinese?
No, I know some words, but I don't speak Mandarin.
All right. Thank you so much, Jermaine. All right, Jared, you're up.
Yeah, similar to Jermaine, Fayetteville State definitely afforded me an opportunity coming out of undergrad to be able to go study abroad in London. And I've since visited 18 or 19 countries and traveled to 38 states. So I would say just a global experience or having that global exposure really shaped my perspective, as to how I live, try to emphasize minimalism and sustainability and, recycling and reusing as much as I can from a religious perspective, and just opening my eyes to, different aspects of worship and belief and spirituality, and just holistically what and how I perceive or am able to interact or connect with other people, because I've been able to experience so many different cultures and engulf myself in so many different areas and really try to understand and learn more about the people there and just the life that others live in comparison to what I have exposure to in the States. So I'd say all in all, that perspective has definitely highlighted my ability to be able to maneuver in this world of real estate and work with people and build relationships. And I think Coble and I connect significantly in that area too, just from the shared experiences that we've had while traveling as well.
Love that. Thank you so much, Jared. And Jared, you have a question here. Do you speak any other language beside English since you've been to all of these countries? Inquiring minds are mind. Sherry wants to know.
Sí, poquito español.
That's what he said, whatever that was. I think he said a little bit of Spanish. Is that right?
Yes. I was also studying Papiamento when I was
What was that?
Papiamento, it's the local language of Aruba.
Okay. Okay, good stuff. All right. You have people saying awesome international brothers. Listen, guys, I have to ask you this question because we're almost at the end of this podcast. The first question is, as you began to expand your investment portfolio, are you guys looking to partner with developers, with realtors? Who are you looking to partner with to scale what you're currently doing in real estate?
I think we're open to new relationships and really understanding what people have to bring to the table. This is every day we learn something new. So whether it's a developer, someone financing projects, finding projects, I think we're open to all those things, and just open to have a conversation with anybody that wants to see Fayetteville push forward and succeed, and any other brown market that lacks investment.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just add on that and say collaboration and partnership are probably the biggest things that come to mind in that regard. And it being a two-way street, it could just simply be a conversation to understand your ideas or suggestions or what and how we could work together. Maybe not right now, but in the future. So collaboration and partnership.
Love that. And my next question, in the midst of the pandemic, and if I heard you earlier, Jermaine, you stated that, or Jared, you stated that you acquired your first property in May of 2020. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Was that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Oh, right. So, in the midst of a pandemic, why did you make the move then? Because if you look at it now with real estate, you see the numbers, you see it's a seller market, property is hard to acquire. Why did you guys make the move in the midst of a pandemic?
Yeah, I'll start it, Jermaine. You feel free to finish it off. I always say that if it feels right, it is. And when we found the property, everything flowed as smooth as water. I mean, we put the offer in, it was accepted. Minor light negotiation. Toured the property, loved it. Didn't need much work. Everything just flowed smooth, and it felt right. So my philosophy and kind of just my driving factor for deals, or however you want to phrase it, is to go up my gut, and it just said this is right for us, so we rolled with it.
All right, good
Yeah,
stuff.
Jared showed it to me, and I said, let me throw some numbers on a piece of paper because I'm very analytical. I need the numbers to make sense before I decide on anything. And the returns were there. We had many conversations, and I was like, look, we're in a pandemic, but people still need a place to live. Like this is the biggest time you need a place to live is in a pandemic because you need to go home.
Right.
So we put the offer in, and it just seemed like the market was saying at the time, everyone was scared of real estate. People wanted to cash out. We didn't know where the world was going to go. And for us, this is probably the best time. Interest rates were low. It wasn't a lot of bidders at the beginning of the pandemic. There was no one in the market at that time. It was really a seller's market at the beginning. And we kind of took that leap of faith, and it all worked out. And 13 doors later, we're here now.
Wow.
And to show how it really, really worked out for us, so we closed on a Thursday, and I think my flight back to Arkansas was that Sunday. And if I'm not mistaken, Jermaine, correct me if I'm wrong, but we had the property leased by Sunday.
Yeah, it was completely vacant.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
So closed, cleaned it up, put it on the market, and yeah, it was leased that weekend.
We outperformed our underwriting, and from that deal, we were like, all right, we need more.
Wow. Closed, cleaned it up, and leased it. I love that phrase. I love that phrase. So, of course, you guys know that I'm in real estate, so I can help you close, clean it up, and lease it. Okay. So, just want to put that plug in there. All right. So, which kind of segue into my next question? Who was instrumental in mentoring you, or do you guys have anybody that helped mentor you in this, or were you guys just knobs and say, hey, Jermaine, you talking to Jared, let's just do this, let's do our own research, vice versa, Jared telling Jermaine, listen, let's just read up on some things and just let's do this?
I have my master's in real estate asset management from NYU, so I'm like to say classically trained. But Jared pushed me to say, all right, let's pull the trigger.
Hold on, Jermaine. Give me that master's again.
I have a master's in real estate asset management from NYU.
Okay, I just needed for you to say it for the people in the back and for the people for the replay. All right, so go ahead.
So we for many years, had been saving and saying this moment was going to happen one day, and Jared called me and said, "Well, let's do it. Like here's a deal. It makes sense. Come on, run the numbers. Let's do it." So Jared pushed me out of my comfort zone because in the back of my head, it was one of those things that I'm going to do when the time is right, and the time's never going to be right. So Jared really pushed me. Too many people to name as a mentor that have helped get me personally to where I am today. But it's been a community.
All right, love that. Thank you so much, Jermaine. And Jared, I want you to answer this too, but let me read these quick statements here. Sherry stated, "You guys are awesome. Keep being great." And she also stated, "You better represent yourself, Lenora Lassiter Dawson." Yeah, absolutely, Sherry, but it's Lenora Dawson Lassiter. I got tongue tied there. All right, Tamara from LinkedIn. Yes, Tamara Brothers, PhD. Okay, sister, you better do it. She says, so proud of the both of you. Bronco pride. I tell you, there are Broncos all over the nation, galloping and doing the things that they do best, and that is succeeding in life. So I love that. I love that. But go ahead and answer the question, Jared.
Yeah, so unlike Jermaine, I didn't have the classical education. I'm self-taught in real estate, and I actually purchased my first investment property in 2018 in Bentonville, Arkansas, and kind of just learned the ropes as I went along. And again, it felt right. And since it's been amazing. So kind of just taking that experience and applying it in a different market, and really just learning a bit more along the way, it offloads. So like Jermaine, I have a number of mentors. I mean, my biggest is probably my family, my mom in particular, and then also kind of just knowing the foundation I want to create for my future family and the future generations, to
All
kind
right.
of my motivator there.
All right. Big shout out to mom. All right. Love that. Because you know how mamas are. You went on that podcast and you didn't even say nothing about me. Y'all know how our parents do.
Mhm.
Listen, I got two of them myself, and they're in their 70s. And Lord knows I have to give them a shout out every once in a while. Okay. All right. So Brianna said it's great to see young men making a difference in the community. I definitely agree, Brianna. Red said, Joshua said, we all need a support system like that. Definitely agree. Did you say galloping through life? I sure did. I sure did. That's what Broncos do. They gallop and they jump over things. Laugh out loud. You better come on with the phases. Coin it, sis. Okay, coin it, sister. Coin it. Yes, we're going to trademark that and try to make some money. Okay. All right. She also stated if y'all need updated pictures, contact Bougie Bree Photography LLC. She is as I stated, an alum of Fayetteville State University as well. Final question, guys. As I was reading your article, you guys stated in the article that your goal is to acquire a commercial property by 2022. Are you guys on target for that?
You got it, Jared.
We're still prospecting the market for a commercial asset. We toured a couple late last year, but right now we're still undergoing the renovations to the quadruplex on Murchison Road. I'm looking to finalize that later this year, and once that's completed, I think we'll take a look at the horizon to see how things are. But of course, as a lot of you may know, with just the market dynamics and the spike in interest rates, we want to make sure we're as strategic as possible in the investments that we're making. Because all in all, we want to make money, want to be profitable.
Right.
So,
Right.
it's still ideal. We're still looking for opportunity. If someone has a lead on something, feel free to send it our way. But outside of that, yeah, it's in the works. More to
All
come.
right. Good stuff. Guys, any final words? I mean, you guys shared a wealth of knowledge. I'm sure individuals who are watching this live and that will watch the replay, they will be inspired and may want to start investing as well. So, you guys did a really, really great job on tonight. But before we end this podcast, do you all have any last remarks that you all would like to provide or give to the audience?
Yeah, again, I'll just reemphasize the points from earlier: collaboration and partnership. Jermaine and I are willing to sit down and discuss any opportunities that may be available. We're super accessible. Our contact email is jnjglobalassets@gmail.com. And again, collaboration and partnership is what we're looking for.
Yeah, and just if I could piggyback, Lorna, thank you for inviting us and having us on here to talk to your platform. We're two guys that want to make a difference in our world. And we decided to start at Fayetteville State or Murchison Road up the street from Fayetteville State as kind of our biggest asset to date for purchasing. And super excited about this project. It's a daily roller coaster, but it's been fun so far. And just glad we get to have fun while we do it.
Love it, guys. I tell you, you guys are doing some amazing things. And just to see that you have also partnered with a gentleman who's also a graduate of Fayetteville State University to do some renovations, that's phenomenal. So keeping it in the family, but don't mind, expanding and bringing in some other people as well to the table that's going to help you guys win. So everyone, you still can like, share, love this podcast on all social media platforms to include Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Tiffany stated, amazing job. Thank you so much, Tiffany, for joining in. And again, these guys did phenomenal. Jared and Jermaine, Double J, I just want to say thank you guys for saying yes to pour on tonight on the Lenore Pours podcast. Guys, please hang on. Everyone else, please remember this. You were born for a purpose, and that purpose is to pour into the lives of others. Good night. I hope that you enjoyed tonight's pouring session as much as I did. Listen, please share with your family and your friends. And if you want to find out more information about Lenore Pours, please visit our website, www.lenorelasser.com, to find out how I and our team can partner with your organization or to partner with you. I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, remember, you are born for a purpose, and that purpose is to pour into the lives of others.